Hi, Facebook friends. I'm back. Chris here. Okay, so this is part 3 of my customization video. Before I start, I just want to say it's morning here, and I have a little bit of a, for anybody who suffers with allergy or sinus issues, so I might have to excuse myself to blow my nose or something. I'm sorry about that. I'm saying that just ahead of time, okay? So here I'm going to show you the project I'm currently working on. When it's done, it's probably going to mean the most to me of any dime paintings because it's kind of basically a tribute to my mom and my relationship. In case you haven't seen a previous video, or I talk about it or mention it quite a bit, I lost my mom in December of 2019. She was the closest person to me and meant the world to me. So I had a custom made of this picture I'm about to show you, and it has you can call it a poem type thing on, and it's a saying that we would say to each other every night. We said it basically 95% of the time when we were going to bed, before we went to bed, and didn't see each other the rest of the night. So even as an adult, it's a kid kind of thing, but even as an adult, we said it, and we said it right till the end. And this is the picture that I had done. Oh, bad. You can't see it too well. Well, I'll have to describe it. I'm sorry. So it's a moon, a crescent moon, and in the back where all that white is, that's just, I guess, a glow, light in the middle going out blue and darker. And on the sides, of course, we have some stars. And so what I did was I found this photo because, again, it's something we would say at night, and it's a night kind of poem. And so I found this picture, and then I went into, I saved it, and I went into one of those clip art or photo type of editing things that you have on your computer, and I added the text myself. I overlaid it onto here. I actually seen a video of somebody, I'm sorry I don't remember who it is, recently. Then she actually wanted to add a text, although it wouldn't probably have worked for me because there's a lot of it, but hers was a lot shorter and larger. But what she did is she actually said she took a picture and then had a large sheet. She printed out the text on a paper, and what she did was she put the paper, she had her light pad, she put the paper on and then the dime painting over it, and that way she could diamond paint the word, the text that way. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool idea, as opposed to having it put on the dime painting, and you'll see why in a minute. So this is the one I had made. I know you can't see it too well. I actually, before I had just pulled this up, before I started the video, I'd forgotten. And before I had actually done some the other day, I forgot the moon actually had, how they had those little round things in the moon. I thought it was just going to be solid. But, so this is the photo. And like I said, there's text on it. So I'm going to show you some of it. I'm not going to show all of it because I really want to save the finished product to the end. I'm going to show you part of what I did. Well, what I did so far. And I'm going to start working on a little bit today so I can show you how I'm customizing it. Okay, so this is a 50 by 50. Again, I bought it at the Mian store. Oh, let me turn this off first. So this is what it looks like so far. So the parts you can see says "in the morning" and "I love you" are the part of the text I did. And here's the moon, here's the blue background, the light going from light to dark to black to almost black. There's actually, I don't think, any black in here. This is just extremely dark blue. So it's a bit I call it fixing the lettering and the stars. At least these bigger stars, like this one and this one, they're time consuming. At least for me, they are. I changed these other stars. I kind of came up with in my mind, or thinking about how to do it. I did that my own because, again, I'll show you why in a minute. So what I do is, again, this probably might not affect you if you're customizing things, because very rarely are you going to have something with lettering, again, unless you have it made. There's not too many. And of course, if you buy one already made with the letters, I'm sure they charted it correctly, so it's not going to look too blurry. I mean, again, that's a problem too, is if you buy a dime painting too small and it has letters on it, it's going to be blurry. So you always got to be careful about that. This is what I've done, and I hope you like it. It's nice. I really like it so far. I wound up actually changing the... Oh, so let me tell you about it. Let me see my sheet here if I can find it. I just had it. Oh, here it is. So I have my color sheet. I saved this. This is the color list that it came on the side with. Oh, that's another thing. This is just a personal preference. I tend to do on most of my diamond paintings before I start working on them. I cut most of the border, outside off, and I just leave a little strip. It just is easy to maneuver. Just taking that little bit away on all four sides is easier to maneuver and easier to move up. It's just excess that I don't need, so I cut most of it off. And that includes the strip, and I don't really need this, but I saved it for just this purpose. So there were 30 colors that came in this diamond painting. I probably am not using 20 of them, something around that. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Yeah, I'm probably using only 9 or 10. Most, and I know that seems, what? That's crazy. Well, the thing is, a lot of the colors were in small amounts. So at least, when you get, I bought this from, again, Mian. They send you the diamonds in a little package. So it doesn't, I don't actually have my inventory sheet anymore, which this would have helped if I saved a few, because they did I do believe they do send you an inventory sheet, and they'll say how many diamonds you're supposed to have and how many I think you need for the painting. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember now actually if they do that or not. I know some places do that, but so a lot of what I'm trying to say is a lot of the colors have very small amounts in them. So, and because of a lot of them are, if you want to call shading, most of the color is the background. So a lot of this color is this blue color, and then we have a lot of this, which is the ones I'm using. A lot of this dark blue here, and then this medium blue, and there's another shade of blue in here a little bit. Then we have a couple moon colors, and then in the middle. And then a lot of the other colors were shading issue colors, like the letter shades, the star shadings, and all that. So most of those colors were very small amounts, and I didn't have any use or need for them. I choose red for the letters here. They weren't red. I didn't put red on the... I didn't select... how do I say this? I didn't... the red wasn't the color I submitted to them to put as a lettering. I think I did. I believe it was white, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a whitish probably color. But when I seen it, and then it's just, it wouldn't have worked. I think I did choose white because most of the lettering is in the darker background. But it really honestly wouldn't have worked, especially in here. It probably would have been completely lost. So I had to choose something. I could have gone with a yellow, since there are yellows here, but I decided, let me try this red out. And so these are actually red and orange rhinestones. Oh yeah, and before I start doing it, I'll tell you what else is on here. So, like I said, this here is dark blue. Again, the color they gave me. Now, I also added in, if you could see, I randomly, when I do a section, I randomly put some black ABs, and I just dot them around, give it a little more sparkle and shine. Then, now let's talk about the stars, what's in the stars. So like this star, I'll get out, actually, let me get out to show you. So, for this star over here, and it's on the border here, I used what I call these like bolts. I call them bolts, but I don't know what you'd call them. These were actually left over from a larger, like it was actually a quite large partial tree diamond painting I did, and there was a lot of gold in this. And so, it like has a flat top, and the sides, go down like this on the slant. So I used these gold over here. Then in this star right here, I used yellow ABs in this one. All this is yellow AB. In this star right here, I believe, so I have one of two rhinestones I bought from AliExpress. I bought two, and I'm using two colors here. This is probably what I think it was called a crystal AB. So it's like a clear, oops. It's really pretty in person. And this one would have been more of what they call a light topaz. But they're very similar to, these two are very similar. Again, I used them here and here. Same thing on the side. So that's what it is. Oh, and this star here, these two down here, I used a yellow AB on the four corners, and then the rest of it is a rhinestone, a citrine rhinestone I bought from AliExpress. So the closest thing on here to the stars that was how it's printed are these, the larger ones. These kind of take some time to do because, again, I'll show you why, but they're harder to get the definition for me to figure it out. But these other kinds, like this one, this one, this one, I kind of made them up. I figured, okay, what can I do to make different looking stars? I don't want all these stars to do this. It would drive me crazy trying to get these kind, and I couldn't get them, these smaller ones, I couldn't make this size. I couldn't get smaller. So I had to decide, well, you see these kind of stars, and snowflakes, whatever you want to call them, and they look celestial. I think they look very pretty, So one other thing I wanted to mention before I do move on and show you and start working on it a little bit. Let's go into the other blue area now. So here we have a blue area. In one of the colors, because I think there are two colors. This is the darkest blue. Then there are two lighter, well, actually three lighter blues. There's very light blue. There's only a few of them in here, and I don't know if you could see them. They're kind of bordering the moon, and there's this little light blue in between the writing. But there's two dark kind of navy bluish mixed in here. One of the colors I'm leaving alone. I'm not adding anything to the color, like with the darker color blue over here. I added black ABs. One of the dark blues over here I'm leaving alone. I'm just using that color. The other dark blue, I'm adding some of the blue half pearls. So there's one here. There aren't too many. Again, I'm just dotting them. So there's one here. That's a half pearl, half pearl, half pearl. We also have, so that's in the blue. Now in the moon area, so in the, well, actually, let's go to the light background first. So this is the lighter background. So one of the colors I'm using in the light blue, I'm using a blue AB, which is there. Again, it's a little hard to tell on the camera, but there's a blue AB. There's a couple, and this is the only area I've done with the blue, so this light blue. So there's a couple ABs, and in the other one, I'm using a very light blue rhinestone, like these two. And in the moon, I'm using they give you the white color, so I'm using the color they give you. I'm using a few white ABs sprinkled around. I'm using, again, here's a blue rhinestone, a couple blue rhinestones mixed in here. With that's where the blue color was, as you could see in these little, I guess you call them crater things in the moon. So the little bit of blue is in there, so I'm putting a blue rhinestone a little bit. And these are sparklers, original sparklers from Tina, and that's on Facebook. And you can buy rhinestones from her as well, and sparklers and stuff. So, and they're beautiful. So those are what I'm putting in the moon. And again, I'm just sprinkling them around, you know. That's the kind of thing you could do with this. Dot around. Okay. Ooh, 20 minutes. Or, excuse me, 17 minutes. It's going to be a long video probably, because I want to show you, or do a little bit. Okay. So let's first look at what's going on here. So let's take away some of this. So this is some more of the writing and some more of the stars. So I'd actually have to look on the photo itself, because I don't know what that is. That might be a star, but there's a lot of rounds outside over here. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'll probably just, again, just go, I'm not going to add a star. I'll probably just go over that with blue. But so these are the stars. This one, this one, this one. This. There's a star there. Now the star on these two stars that's right on the word, or the letter I should say, and right over here, those are not going to be stars. It's going to be too complicated, and it wouldn't work just to put random color there. It's not going to look right. So those are just going to go background color. Honestly, I don't know. I'll have to change this. This can't be as big as it is because it's too close to the word, or excuse me, the letter. So instead of having, even though this is a little bit of a larger star like on here on the bottom, I'll probably turn this kind of star right here into something like this, because that's easier to do. And usually with the whiter ones, that's what I do. The crystal, like these crystal ones, I'll turn that into, I'll try to keep them closer to the color. It doesn't have to be that way. You really can't tell. But now here we have the words. Now, as you can see, you have the word happy here. I don't know. I'm sure you probably can read that. I don't know. It's a little clearer probably through your view, but mine, it's really muddled. And so see how they have, let's bring it closer up. So they have the letter, the white. See, the arrows are the main kind of color that's supposed to be the color in the letter. And even if I went across and just did this white, white, and then white, it's a little thin. And again, and then what they did is, because I don't know, see, I would have to check, but I could have swore when I had this made and when I did the lettering, and I sent it to them, it was a solid letter. I don't believe I chose one that had like this kind of a font with a shading background, but that's what it came out as. I would have known not to do that. I'm sorry, let me just adjust you a little bit. I would have known not to do that. Because I tried my best to make this as, simple as possible, and I know I wouldn't have done that. I'm gonna have to look at my sample to double check, but that's what happened. So we have like these colors on the side and on over here. The A. I mean, that's just a mess. If I was to do this in the colors they gave me, I didn't try it, but I don't think it would be legible. There's just too many colors, and it would just look like a blob. Obviously you can read some of it, but other letters you wouldn't be able to do it. So that's why I decided to change it out for the red and the orange, and I made them, as you could see, I did them thicker. And these are what's more time consuming sometimes, because you have to do that. I probably won't, I have to do over there. But the spacing, so with the lettering, what I did was, let me cover this up first. How would I have this? Okay. Maybe right there. Okay, so when I started the dime painting, before I did anything, including the board down here on the stars, the first thing I did was I did the YOU, because I wanted to see how I was going to be able to do it. So that's when I decided to do it two colors. I decided to do it red and orange, and I'm doing orange on the outside color and red on the inside color. And this was a little easier doing this than this, obviously, because they're bigger, but I'm actually glad I did start with these, because they were bigger. I got familiar with trying to shape these letters out, and so when you do this, at least with lettering, you want to try to make them obviously all uniform, so that all the tops are all going across in the same line, and the bottoms end all on the same line across. And then the spacing in the middle, try to be consistent with that. So with the bigger letters, I have 2 spaces in between the U and the O. With the Y and the O, it's a little different, because the Y is, the way the letter is, obviously, it's further apart. But then you go over to the love part. Again, there's 2 spaces between love, 2 between, the E and the V, 2 between the E and the O and the V, and the, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, with the I, it doesn't have to be that close, so there's a few more spaces in between. But try to be consistent with that. The same thing up with the morning over here. I started with the G and actually moved down. Actually, no, that's not true. I might have started with the G, but I was kind of skipping in between here. And so I was doing the simple letters first, I think. So the N's and the I and the R were the easiest ones. And the G was probably... was it? Well, then this letter was probably the hardest one. But again, you get a hang of it after a while. The E the lowercase e is probably the hardest one I've done. Yes, the lowercase e's are the hardest ones to get done. But again, I'm having one space in between the letters. Again, they're all ending on the same space, except for obviously the G, the part that goes down, that doesn't end right on there, obviously. So that's what I did. So I was thinking about, even though I've been talking for a while, maybe I'll try to do a little bit. I don't know. I only say I don't know is because this kind of takes me a while to see. I haven't done these letters in a few days, and so it takes me a little while to actually kind of get my bearings with doing the letters. And then again, they're not the easiest things. And now these, with this letter, the difficult thing is there's a star right on top of the S, so that's really interfering. And you know what? You can't really see it too well either. There's a star right on top of it, so I'm gonna have to work that out. So I might try to do this. I don't know how successful I'll be at being able to show you. I'll do the M first because the M is easier. Like I said, it's a little easier to do. It's probably better to do the easier letters, because then you can kind of gauge where the other, because when you doing the easier letters is easier to gauge the other ones. So if I was to do the S first, or the D I probably could do because it is easier but of a letter to do. But if I was to do the S first, trying to figure out where the lines go might then mess up the M. But on the other hand, there's these. So it's just, believe me. And I could tell, see this M here, I know I'm kind of rambling on, I know you can't see too well, but so the M here, and you could tell too where the space should be a little bit, because the M's are going, obviously, at least in the letters near the end of the word, are going between the letters. So there starts with the M's going between the M and the S, and then here between the A and the M. So I'm going to do a little bit here. And then shaping the word, because, again, we're working basically in almost block letters. Let me get the other tray. And you kind of have to learn how to shape the words. So this is the most time-consuming part of the whole diamond painting, is the lettering. The big star can be a little frustrating, but the lettering is definitely much more of a challenge. And again, I know most of you, if you're watching this, are probably not going to be doing this, but just in case, again, you got to take your time. Now I'm going to go down here, which is the good part, is after you start doing it, you can look at the reference of the other ones. So I'm going to reference my other M that I did. I've already done another M. So I know on the outside there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 oranges on which I got right. And also I want, for consistency, I want the letters to look the same. So now that I was successful down here with getting M's and G's and E's and H's and things like that, when I'm doing them in the other words, I just look down to where I finished, and I also, so I don't have to figure it out here, obviously. And so I could look, okay, this row, the first row of the M has 6 oranges. The second row of the M has It has 6 reds on it like this, and then on the top of that, I go on top of the red one goes an orange, and then oranges go across like this, and then more reds will go under that, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go under that, and then orange 6 go down, to here. Is that right? Because then this will be red, then space, red, orange, space. Yes, that should be right. And then oops, that should be 1. Okay, so there you have it. So there's an M. I was able to do this, like I said, fast because I have the reference down here. Now, what I was worried is because it covered up the M's that the M background letter over here, which were the dark blues will be, this covered that up. So was a little worried. I'm still a little perplexed in why that happened. The M, as it's written, maybe would have been longer out, but that doesn't matter. This is fine how I'm going to do it, because now when I do the A, it'll go over here with the space in between here, and when I do the S, I will start in this row and try to work my way to the S. Okay, so that's how I did the lettering. I know this was a fast, and again, that was an easy letter, but I just wanted to show you an example, kind of, I guess, how to do it, or how I did it. I'll probably let me do a star for you. And so, like I said, most of this is being customized, really, except for the background and even the little sprinkles in the background. Just put that up. Now, since this is a bigger star right there, I'm going to make that as star-like as I can. So let's see. So I put a line over there. Oh, I know you can't see too well. Sorry if you couldn't see my other one very well either. Oh, so I just put a line there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get too well. So the tricky part is kind of forming the star, honestly. Something that looks like a star. And generally, with these stars that I'm making, I'm having to go a little bit bigger than what is on the printed because it's too small for me to figure out how to make these any other way. These I find I have to change more than the letters. See, that doesn't already look right. I don't know. What happens is I start putting them down, and then I look at them. I guess it's more of a random thing. See, that doesn't look right. So I start putting them down, and then as I'm doing them, I'm like, with the border of the star, I'm like, that's not right. And then I'm having to change it. So these are actually, believe it or not, like I said, more frustrating when I do these bigger stars than the lettering, because the lettering, I have the guide, I have a better outline to a lot of the word, at least, whereas the star, because it's so misshapen, there's a few points to them, like, here you could see, but again, they're all in shade, and it doesn't really look like a star point if I, just doing it that way. And then usually that's only on a couple, and then down here it's just a mess. There's no points or anything here. There's no definition to it. Obviously here there's another little star. That's just a round blob. So, all right, I'm going at 35 minutes. There's not much more I could tell you. This is going to take me a little while, like I said, to figure out. I'm going to have to change this. I don't like how that looks already. So, and I don't know honestly what else to tell you. I know this isn't part of what the general customization is, so I don't want to drag you on for too long about it. I mean, unless you are someone who's doing letters and trying to fix stars and stuff. But this is kind of more of a rare kind of issue. This is kind of, I'll say it's more my fault. Again, when you communicate with the companies, they're pretty helpful. This company's always helpful with me, and they send me the mock-ups of it, and I approve them, so you never really know what it looks like till you get it, even with the mock-up. So this, like I said, it's just a little bit more of a challenge. And but again, the back just to the normal topic of customization. So it's like I said, something like this kind of design, take the letters out of it. Even if you just did the background and the stars and the moon, again, this leaves up to customization. With these issues, you could easily fix them. Listen, I made all these pretty stars. These go really quickly. They're very easy to do. Just doing the backgrounds, these ombre of colors, easy to do. Just substitute out some stuff. So, yeah, I can't wait till this is done. I think it's going to be really nice, and I can't wait to show you. I hope this it helped in some way. And like I said in my other video, if you have any questions at all, I'll try to help out. Just leave them in the comments. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you next time. All right. Have a great day. Stay safe and be happy. Bye-bye.